Okay.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for taking time out of your day to come in, and we're going to talk about the state of chiropractic and going to give some practice tips and building the practice of your dreams. We're in a very interesting state in chiropractic, and I do not think most chiropractors who are leading this profession realize the state of chiropractic. We ultimately have two models of chiropractic. We have a model that is predominantly focused on physical medicine that makes up the majority of the profession. And these are the folks who are very committed to the teaching of D.D. Palmer, B.J. Palmer, and later on Sid Williams. This is the model of chiropractic getting sick people well and keeping the well from getting sick. And within this therapeutic model, there is a liberal and a conservative side. There is a liberal side that really wants to get rid of the term vertebral subluxation completely, wants to focus on whatever the case is, segmental dysfunction, regional dysfunction, and simply looks at anything philosophical as antiquated and more of a theosophy. And a theosophy where universal intelligence is God, innate intelligence is the soul, innate intelligence talks to you and gives you answers to life. Very much what DD and the spiritualism and BJ Palmer and his theosophy were advocating, and later on, Sid Williams. Now, personally, I'm not saying there isn't a soul in the body, or there is an intuition or a spiritual guide or that small wee voice inside of you. None of that's chiropractic. And when we look at even the more conservative part of physical medicine that chiropractic, the majority of chiropractors are practicing in, it can be exclusive to the vertebral subluxation. This particular segment wants to keep the term vertebral subluxation, keep terms like innate intelligence, universal intelligence, even acknowledging they are soul, or God, and that they talk to you. It's very much a theosophy to where disease or disease is treated exclusively through the vertebral subluxation. Now, both entities are involved with third-party medical pay, medical reimbursement that puts chiropractic as an alternative to medicine. And the liberal side of the therapeutic model of chiropractic is very much wants to be a part of medicine, it enjoys being the doctor of physical medicine, and ultimately will use any treatment in the therapies of getting a specific amount of disease as well that chiropractic has had good results with, chiropractic being physical medicine. And then the more conservative side still wants to reach all the sick people because the vertebral subluxation is the cause of all disease. Innate intelligence leads you, gives you answers, and universal intelligence is God, and the vertebral subluxation is interference between the creator and the product of the creator. So very much a theosophy. And this, unfortunately, was the downfall of B.J. Palmer. Thank you, Lord, for sending D.D. Palmer and B.J. Palmer as the founder and developer of chiropractic. They were not the philosophers of their day. Yes, I'm going to be blasphemous by chiropractic standards. The true philosopher of that day is the man that was trying to get away from all theosophy, and that's going to be R.W. Stevenson. R.W. Stevenson put together the most amazing concepts within chiropractic, even to this day, of the 33 principles, the normal complete cycle. I'm a little bit more harsh on the simple cycle because it's just silly. It's not accurate. Claude Lessard does a much better description of it in his reinvention of the chiropractic textbook. He has 2 of the 4 books that are now available, and soon to have all 4 books. I have a list of questions for Claude. I have also a list of disagreements, but I am praising his work because it is an amazing package. He has 4 books out now: Chiropractic Timed Out, Chiropractic Basic Science, Chiropractic Textbook, Volume 1 and 2. They are all out, and I encourage you to read them multiple times. I am reading them over and over again, which gives me more answers and a lot more questions as well. So very excited for that. In short, the vast majority of chiropractic as we practice now does not make a lot of sense, because not everybody gets well under chiropractic. And not everybody stays well under chiropractic. And what we're finding is a lot of chiropractors are also getting into functional medicine and all these other things, because when your goal is to get sick people well, it is only the logical evolution to do anything that it takes to get sick people well. Why wouldn't you? And therefore, you're going to constantly incorporate different therapies, and rightfully so. So now there's a battle, and this has been going on for quite some time, that you'll have a state like Arizona, or you have a state like Montana that's like, look, if we're trying to get sick people well, we really need to look to incorporate some sort of medicine to get more sick people well. This is the natural evolutionary process of getting sick people well. So you have the chiropractors in the physical medicine realm who are on the more conservative side, who say, oh, no, that's not chiropractic. We need to fight that. And every time this comes up to play, well, it gets closer and closer to passing in one state, which will be a domino effect for other states as well. It was 1 vote away in Montana. And I'm telling you right now that as long as chiropractic is trying to get sick people well, this is going to pass. This bill is going to pass, because it's the natural evolution of what's going on. And now we have a very small group in chiropractic. I don't know if it's getting bigger or smaller, because it's really hard to say how many folks have practiced in what is called the non-therapeutic model of chiropractic. A lot of chiropractors talk about this, and it's very contradictory to what they're saying. You cannot practice in the non-therapeutic model of chiropractic and still be focused in any way on any sort of outcome in regards to getting sick people well, keeping the well from getting sick, or predicting any physiological function, including health. So now what we're dealing with is the non-therapeutic model of chiropractic, which says, very simple and succinct, that vertebral subluxations, by the definition of their existence, incongruent with the basic science of chiropractic. And one genius thing that Claude Lessard has done is he's taken the 33 principles of chiropractic away from a philosophical concept and put them into a scientific concept, that these are basic scientific principles that, yes, we can question them and we can study why, which is the philosophy, but is a basic science that every science can adhere to. Every science can adhere to. There is a universal organizing principle in all matter, continually giving it its property and actions, thus maintaining it in existence. Every science, whether it's physics and the law of confined fluids, or inertia, or centripetal force, or centrifugal force, these are natural laws that are predictable because of this universal principle of organization. And Stamati, I'm telling you right now, the more that I'm reading through Claude's work, the more he's referring to universal intelligence as what is creating everything. And once we get beyond universal intelligence, and even at universal intelligence, that's a concept that's beyond chiropractic, because the word intelligence is personifying it. Intelligence creates things. Intelligence creates things. Principles do not. The universal principle of organization and the innate law of living things do not create anything. They are organizing, reorganizing, because they simply are. Just like the law of gravity simply does what it does. Educated intelligence is an intelligence, and it is creating, and it is thinking, and it is personifying, because that's the nature. Now, educated intelligence as an extension of innate intelligence, it's simply, as Claude would say, it's tincturing the innate impulses, making them educated impulses, and the educated intelligence is in a specific region of the brain that is involved with rational reasoning, personality, and the creation of things, and art, and logic and reasoning. And that is a personification that is within the realm of chiropractic. Do I have questions about that? Yes. And Claude told me to wait for volume 4 to come out. So when we're looking, I just want you to know that you did great in your presentation. And guys, if you haven't been to the Chiropractic Summit by the Chiropractic Trust, it is amazing. If you want congruent, beautiful, unbelievable chiropractic, that you can take this information and apply it, because within chiropractic, we have the basic science that we must always be congruent with. And then when we take that to our office, of course, that is now the applied science. And in all cases, we're constantly asking why, which is the philosophy of chiropractic. So when we look at non-therapeutic chiropractic, and we define it as being the analysis and the facilitation of the adjustment of vertebral subluxations in congruence with chiropractic basic science. Pretty basic definition. Now, and the Chiropractic Trust, we like to go a little bit deeper, and that's totally fine too. And there's reason for that. The Chiropractic Trust represents the non-therapeutic model of chiropractic. And in this non-therapeutic model, when we define vertebral subluxations, that it is a condition of a vertebra that has lost its proper juxtaposition compared to the one above, the one below, or both, to an extent less than a dislocation, which somehow impinges nerves and interferes with the transmission of innate impulses. And we can argue, and I will argue, and Tom Gregory made a great post on the Chiropractic Trust today of a Reggie lecture, that there is interference to the efferent pathway moving away from the brain, as well as the afferent pathway going back to the brain. And it is a limitation of matter. The innate awareness and the innate impulses are always perfect. Oh, do we have somebody question? Okay. It's the limitation of matter that we're dealing with. That is not a limitation of innate intelligence. I'm sorry, innate law of living things, the innate field in the innate realm in the innate body, always perfect. It is its expression in matter that is interfered with and less than perfect. So when the vertebral subluxation has been adjusted by the chiropractic basic science, that innate law of living things never injures or destroys the structure in which it works, by having a fuller expression of innate impulses, your body is functioning always better, stronger, and closer to its full potential. So therefore, a vertebral subluxation is always bad, and the adjustment is always good. Always. That is absolute always. The vertebral subluxation is not an intelligent design. It interferes with the function of intelligent design. It is never a default system that your body utilizes for anything good, or the innate law for anything good. Now, everything after the adjustment of a vertebral subluxation is disassociated with. Any function or the prediction thereof is completely and 100% disassociated, because it is 100% unpredictable. 100%. And that is going to be the difference, that we can end and stop at that point. Because vertebral subluxation is a very simple concept that the public can very easily understand when the chiropractor is educated in the skill of communication, which is a learned skill, my friends. That These vertebral subluxations are something everybody has. They're really unbelievably bad because innate law cannot express itself at 100% in your body. And that's a bad thing. And the unbelievably powerful reassurance is that the adjustment of vertebral subluxations always allows or enables a fuller expression of innate impulses, which always brings the body closer to its full potential, which is always a good thing. And the fact that we cannot predict which physiological function will improve takes nothing away from the quality of the service that we bring. Folks, this is very easy to communicate. We do not need salutogenesis. We do not need structural whatever, the structural dysfunction or whatever other terms are being used, segmental dysfunction, regional dysfunction, structural shifts. We simply need to stick with the specific chiropractic lexicon, not subluxation, vertebral subluxation, not innate intelligence, innate law of living things, and universal principle of organization, because we need to move away from anything that personifies or deitizes chiropractic concepts. These are universal basic sciences, not deities, not religion. And if we are going to be taken serious on this planet, this is the much needed, necessary evolution of chiropractic. Stamati and I continuously talk about our understanding of chiropractic must be written in pencil, because our understanding of these principles constantly changes and improves if we're on the quest to get better, and we must be on this quest to get better. Now, what can we do to better educate the world? This is where we're going to get into practice success, okay? Before we get into practice success, let's just discuss as we close out the state of the chiropractic profession. So we have the therapeutic model of physical medicine, and we have the non-therapeutic model of the adjustment of vertebral subluxations on a regular basis for a better expression of innate impulses. The non-therapeutic model does cross over in some understanding, just not very deep, into the therapeutic model. And as we study and as we get a deeper understanding, then we cross over and we are once again exclusively in the non-therapeutic model to practice it congruently and appropriately. We have 4 national/international organizations in chiropractic. And the reality is we really have 2. We have the ACA model of chiropractic, which really wants to bring chiropractic completely into the medical realm, which is fine. We have the ICA model of chiropractic, which claims they're different, but does not specifically say how. These 2 groups have been very close to merging, and they very well could merge, and I could definitely see that happening. They were within 5 or 6 votes of merging because the difference is pretty much non-existent. Both practice physical medicine. One does it more conservative than the other. On the non-therapeutic side, we have 2 organizations, the IFCO and the Chiropractic Trust, which could easily merge. The biggest difference between these 2 organizations is the IFCO is going to creep back into health, healing, and other elements of physical medicine that does not hold straight to the line of non-therapeutic chiropractic, that they'll somehow try to predict some kind of specific outcome. Even health or healing are models of medicine and physical medicine, where the Chiropractic Trust takes the harder stance of being totally and completely disassociated from any outcome whatsoever in regards to the adjustment of vertebral subluxations. And I'm going to go so far as this. I'm moving away from the word correction of vertebral subluxations. Correction is not a chiropractic term. The chiropractic term is adjustment of vertebral subluxations. And I can very easily see the IFCO and the Chiropractic Trust merging if the IFCO just tweaked a couple things, and of course, moved away completely from any third party pay, because every one of them is treatment based, medical based, and a medical entity of physical medicine. Chiropractic in no way is ever an alternative to medicine, because we simply do not have the same objective in any way, shape, or form. So medical bashing, medical critiquing, or being an alternative to medicine has no room in any way in non-therapeutic chiropractic. We simply have no opinion. Now, let's see. Scotty T says, hey, everyone, mute yourselves when Mark's talking. Bottom left should be the icon. Now, Mauricio, ICA, do you mean International Chiropractic Association? That's exactly what I mean, Mauricio. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So you could easily have two international organizations of chiropractic. And then from there, I mean, am I about unity? Yes. Even got it tattooed right here on my arm. Yes. Anyway, and it wouldn't take much for the IFCO and the trust to come together. I could tell you that, the trust is not going to, bend on any of its stances. And the IFCO could just tweak a couple things and we would be right there. It would not be a hard leap at all. So how do we sell this, man? How do we bring this to the world? Now, many of you know, I've been in practice now for since 1993, going on 32 years. I love people. I love being successful. I love being congruent. If there's a better way to practice chiropractic, I want to know, I want to do it. I want that to be something that I learn. I never wanted to be in the non-therapeutic model. I was very much a traditional chiropractor. And I was upper cervical, BJ Palmer, get all the sick people well and keep the well from getting sick. The issue that I had was not everybody got well. And in my constant journey of growth, it led me unequivocally to this model of chiropractic, because it's the only thing that makes sense. And with that being said, I want to serve the public like my own family. So when people say, well, how do you sell chiropractic? And I know people get so polarized with that term. When somebody sits down with me for a consultation, my only concern is, are we a good fit? Are they a good fit here? Are they a good fit somewhere else? I'm not pushing anything. In fact, I am very, very exclusive on who I want to start in the office. I'll give folks a chance. But my question that I'm asking myself, is this somebody I want to see 2-3 times a week for the next 20 years? Is it somebody that's going to at least make an effort to cooperate and help me help them to the best of my ability? So yeah, when we schedule, and I have a free consultation because I want to make sure things are a good fit. We all know we can help everybody. Are we going to take care and serve everybody? No, because I don't want a miserable practice. I'm not going to, and I've been in situations where I'm literally trying to educate folks, fighting them. I've had chiropractors that have worked with me that I am fighting them to teach them how to be successful in this model. That's not where I want to spend my energy. That's not where my fight is. The question is this person enthusiastically, passionately excited to be in my company? Are they going to allow me to take them as far as I can in regards to being a practice member? Are they going to follow through on a regular basis? This is what I'm asking folks. So as I'm explaining chiropractic, as I'm educating folks on chiropractic, I love to do it. I love to take a moment and show people, hey, this is a service and a habit that can really help you enjoy a better quality of life. And quite honestly, you're paying a lot more by going without it. So I'm reading them. If they're looking away, if they're saying, they're not listening. So now I'm thinking, okay, I still want to give them a shot. I got a 4-month package and we can see if it's a good fit. And if it's not a good fit, we part as friends. You do not serve everybody, and you must angle yourself to be the absolute authority in your community on chiropractic. How do you do that? Well, you do it for free. And what do I mean? You post free content. It's nice if you do it every week, but it's a whole lot better if you do it every day. You know, Dennis, I see a lot of your posts out there and they're lovely. You want to angle yourself by constantly giving free information of, hey, you know what? Chiropractic's a valuable habit. Call us, give us a holler, schedule a free consultation. Hey, saw this research project by Heidi Havoc correlating an adjustment of a vertebral subluxation with improved brain function. How cool! There is powerful things going on there. Wow, you see, and constantly giving tips. You know, the body has this unbelievable inborn law of living things that functions 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 400 trillion cells, and all this tissue that's forming organs, and these organs that are forming systems, and all these systems that are being conducted and coordinated by this inborn law of living things that I, as a chiropractor, have the privilege to work with by adjusting interference to the expression through the adjustment of vertebral subluxations. Posting this on TikTok, posting this on your YouTube channel, sharing it on Facebook, constantly giving as much free information as you can. When people come into your office, they must feel delighted to be there. So many little extras. Like, and this is just me. This is just me. When I'm in the office, I want to have nice things. And nice things to me is I bake cookies. I have another practice member. She bakes sourdough bread and Cinnabons in her house. I'll buy them from her every Thursday. Just bought them from her a little while ago, and I'll have them there tomorrow in the office, cut up and ready to go. And people love it. I love it. The kids get so excited. I got a kids' playroom that they'll march right into that playroom. And then if there's new kids there, they'll hold their hand and take them into the playroom. I keep a tub full of candy, pounds and pounds of it, so the kids can come in. Yeah, the adults do too, and that's just great. But I want people to always be surprised by the little extras that just say, I care, I love you, and I'm really glad that you're here. When somebody starts in the office, they can start, if they're not certain, or if I'm not certain, we have a 1 month package, a 4 month package, and then after that, we have the year bank draft. Everything filters down into the habit. And if after the folks come in that maybe I'm not their cup of tea, and they don't really want to have this as a habit from me, we part as friends. But whenever anybody starts, we always send out a handwritten letter thanking them for their trust and congratulating them on starting this amazing habit of chiropractic. What a wonderful investment you just made. What a very smart decision. And we send that out. And I get people all the time who say, I haven't received a handwritten letter in decades. And I do it because I love it, you know? It's fun. I am not interested in seeing anybody who isn't enthusiastically excited to be in my company. I'm not interested in working with anybody that's not enthusiastically interested in working with me. It's not me. I'm out. And it doesn't matter if it's business or in the office. Anybody that I'm going to be around has got to be excited. So yes, we could close a lot of people coming in. We don't, because if it's not a good fit, I've had on occasion, more than a few, somebody say, there's no way I'm doing this as a habit. I don't want this as a habit. And this is at the end of the consultation. I'm like, thank you so much for being honest. Thank you for your honesty. And I sincerely mean that. Everything in our office, our niche is the habit of chiropractic. So obviously you wouldn't be happy here and this wouldn't be a good fit. There's a lot of chiropractors that you can pay by the visit, and they're really good folks. So thank you for coming in today. And So it's not just about, oh, you want to close everybody. No, it's not about that at all. It's you want to have the right fit of happy, enthusiastic people to build a practice you never need a vacation from. And yes, knowing how to say things, knowing how to erase bad things, knowing how to emphasize good things, and knowing how to create value for what you do without compromise in any way is vitally important. It's the reason why I created the Institute. It's the reason why it gives you all this information at your fingertips that you watch over and over again. Because our words and our tonality, we make it our own. We make everything as a script because we have to know what to say. We have to make sure that what we're saying is a part of who we are. We studied it. It's congruent with our values, our principles, and the principles of chiropractic. And our tonality brings things home. I'll give you an example of words and tonality. Suppose somebody comes into my office, and I'm so thankful they're there. And as we're talking, and I ask, okay, have you seen a chiropractor before? And they say, yeah, I did, and I didn't really have a great experience. Okay, all right. Well, what happened? I just changed my voice. I'm now being very sincere, very apologetic. What happened, if you don't mind talking about it? Well, this happened and that happened, and they said I didn't have to pay anything, and then I got this big bill in the mail, and they were very rude. And I'm like, okay, yeah. And then after they're done, it's like anything else. I want them to get every negative word and emotion out. And then once they get it all out, I repeat it all back to them. So I totally understand what you're saying. And if I'm hearing you correctly, they said this, and they said that you weren't going to get a bill and you got a bill, and then they were rude to you and they were very disrespectful. And they're like, yeah, yeah. And then they did this, and then they did this, and then they did that. Yeah. And then I paused for a second. I totally understand. And I would feel the same way. And then I paused. But that's not going to happen here. I just erased all that negativity. And now I'm going to justify it by saying, because we're going to give you the exact fees that we charge per month. You can come in during these hours. If you cannot make these hours, we can make a special appointment for you. We simply need significant notice to do so. And our intent is to serve you as family. And the beauty about our program is we serve you just like you're our family, and we are congruent with everything we say on day one, and we'll remind you of these principles throughout each visit. Sound good? So once again, these are things I had to learn. These are words and tonalities I had to learn, make them my own to be congruent with my value, to express one thing that I really care. I care about telling them the truth. I care about them having a great experience. I care about serving them the highest quality possible. This is what I teach. This is my niche and gift to the profession. So at this point right here, and I got this recorded, I will put it on my YouTube channel. Please watch my YouTube channel at Dr. Mark J. Romano, DC. Lots of great chiropractic content there. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my TikTok. If you all have content that you want to hear and discuss, message me on Facebook. Message me at ntscinstitute.com, and I'll be happy to discuss it. So are there any questions? I'd like to open up right now as we close. Anybody have any questions about anything we discussed this evening? Feel free to unmute and we'll talk about it.
Question.
Yes.
Hello, Dr. Mark.
Hey, brother. Good seeing you, Jonathan. Thank you. Jonathan came all the way from Puerto Rico for our chiropractic summit. Thank you for that, bro.
Thank you guys for receiving me so well. So
absolutely.
Like you guys know, my English is my second language. I'm gonna try to explain me well. Okay.
Yes.
I know that the question that I'm going to ask the theme passed a little while, but being said that innate intelligence is always 100%, when a vertebral subluxation exists, and is the matter that cannot express 100% or all the way, or is in intelligence, or is the in intelligence?
It's the matter. Innate intelligence is always 100%. The
Mhm.
force that it creates is always 100%, or the force that it rechannels is always 100%. It is the matter's inability to express it
Right.
that is interfered with in less than 100%. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Now, keep in mind, the 33 principles can get confusing because the first 16 are universal principles, and like the last 17 are living matter principles. So when you see there is always 100% intelligence, 100% force, and 100% matter in the beginning of the principles, that's considering the whole universe. Within living organisms, the matter in the universe is always the same. Innate law is an extension of universal principle of organization, but relative to that matter is limited, and that interference to innate impulses is 100% because of a limitation of matter. Many things can cause a limitation of matter, and this is one of the principles I disagree with. Vertebral subluxation is simply one entity that interferes with the expression of innate impulses.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Awesome. Good question. Good question, Jonathan.
Thank you so
I know
much,
you're
Dr. Mark.
You're welcome, buddy. Anything else, guys? Well, I want to thank everyone for coming out. I am going to post this to my YouTube. I'll also see if we can't get Hooks to post it to the Chiropractic Trust. If you haven't subscribed to either one of those YouTubes, please do. And thank you, every one of you, for tuning in tonight.
And Mark, thank you for making it available.
You're welcome, Dennis. You're welcome, my friend. Hope to see you soon. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Y'all have a good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.